Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for a workout, and today was a dynamic effort lower day. But a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below. It'd be greatly appreciated. Let's get over to the training. Alright, you guys are going to notice some differences. Wide stance again. You guys are going to see the same thing with some of my upper body stuff. I feel like I've got all my joints and support musculature in a very healthy place. I've been doing a lot of narrower stuff, and I feel like now I can handle a better mix of the two. In other words, I do need to get strong at all angles. And again, I feel like I've got my hips in a good place now. I had gone over to some of this because I was getting a lot of inflammation on the right side. But I feel like I've gotten so good at doing so many hanging leg raises, which you guys have seen an example of this last weekend. And the RDL's bringing up the adductors and things. So I feel like all my hip musculature is in a much better place of support. I feel like my diet is really good at controlling inflammation at the moment. Some of that stuff I could probably discuss coming up. I probably need to. Because, I've already having people argue with me about diet stuff, and they're trying to say, oh, you need to watch this person, that person. I'm going to be honest with you guys. If you tell me 3 times to go watch another YouTuber after I say no, you're probably not going to be posting again. I don't watch other fitness YouTubers. Okay? I'm not interested. I don't care. I have really good coaches and registered dietitians and sports dietitians and all these other people who I talk to in my circles of friends I compare notes with. I don't need to go to YouTube. And I know some people say, well, that's hypocritical because you make YouTube. Yeah, but you don't have to watch my channel. Okay? I'm not interested in what other people are doing on this platform. It's mostly moronic. It really is. And that includes a lot of people that some of you might like. I think they're morons, and that's okay. And I'm not going to waste my time watching them. If you want to, that's your business. But I don't think people really understand what I am doing with my diet because they may not follow all the videos or what I put up on Facebook and things like that. But my diet is very, very geared towards controlling a lot of things. So I feel like I'm in a good place there. So we went with wider stance squats. Toes are touching the edge of the rack. Notice even on this box, I am below parallel, right? The 12-inch box with these, I'm still pretty well below parallel by a good couple inches. That's where I want to be. Now the chains were really awkward on this today, getting used to that wider stance. The chains felt just kind of goofy. And I don't know that I really like this monolift doing this. I wanted to get some practice doing these out of the monolift because I might want to max on it just for meets later, but I don't know. I may not do that. I might start walking it right back out. Couldn't get it super comfortable, and I'm a little worried about dumping a max coming out of that monolift with this barbell. But I do love the ability to really set my feet and dig them in tight. I really like that. I felt like it creates a lot of security there. And yeah, looking at my legs, guys, it's pretty obvious. The cut is going decent. The other thing is I did sled drags before this workout, and I've been doing them as often as I can. And the only time days I will definitely not do them is going to be on max effort lower days beforehand. But a lot of mornings I like to get up early and do sled drags. And I did them over an hour before I started this workout, got some carbs in. I did feel like between that may have fatigued my quads a bit. It really removed my ability to do a second quad exercise. But my quad volume was still very, very high. But the beauty of it is sled drags blow my quads up. I noticed my quads hypertrophied when I was doing a lot of sled drags before. So they'll actually handle some of my quad volume. Not really that worried about it. Not a big deal. And you guys will see some interesting stuff, I think, coming up for the upper body training. And people who are on the Facebook saw what I said. I went ahead and ordered all this stuff for dumbbells. It's coming from a couple different sources between Rogue, Titan, and some stuff on Amazon. But yeah, I'm going to start doing dumbbell work for my upper body also. Ordered enough total stuff to get up to right now that will fit on them 104 pounds per dumbbell. So, gives me a good starting point. Alright, sumo. We did sumo speed pulls. I need to do a lot more sumo work. I need to do more wide stance box squat work. And I will probably mess with sumo mostly for just a bit. Why? It increases my conventional. And really, I need to get stronger at these angles. And I'm going to train all angles. We want to be strong, narrow, and wide. All right, I have all my joints in a really good place right now. We just have to balance these things. But I've got to get all around strong. I really do. I think I even have a video discussing of why I'm doing narrow stuff that's still going to be in the rotation. It might not even be up for another week on the breakfast chats. For some people who figured it out, yeah, I do up to 3 of them in one morning sometimes. So I do them back to back. That's why it's really easy for me to get all those done, because I can sit down, answer clients while each one's rendering, film ones while they're rendering, and literally make 3 of those inside of 45 minutes. Get up for an hour, cook, get food ready, eat, answer clients, make 3 videos, and while they're rendering and all of that stuff, sometimes even do client work, and then go back to bed. But the Sumo Speed pills were pretty good. It took me a few of them to get into the groove, but once I did, it was really a matter of finding my foot position. They felt pretty decent, felt good on my hips and everything. I obviously need some technique work on the Sumo at the moment, and I don't know that I'm ready to get out super wide. Now, I won't be able to with bands because of my rack. I can't get out super wide. The one thing, people always ask me, what rack do you have? I'm like, why would you care? If you were buying a rack fresh, a full rack, get an open base Rogue. I have a closed base because I bought the half rack because I had space limitations years ago. 4 years ago or whenever I bought it. I had space limitations that I don't have now, and I upgraded the rack. All right, we upgraded it. There are downsides to that. I actually wished it was open base. For me right now, it's too much hassle to rearrange it. When I move, buy a new house, which is actually a goal, and I'm not going to get into details. People don't need to know about my life. I'll probably switch over then, right? I'll probably switch over and do an open base. But for now, it's not going to happen. So we went over the RDLs. I'm still too light on these. I thought last time I need to bump it quite a bit, and then I come in and I only bumped it 5 pounds. These were probably too easy. I need to put more weight on. I probably need to do a 10-pound jump next time. So we did 325, but this is the heaviest I've been using that deeper range of motion. It felt good, but I know I need more weight on the bar. So again, I'm not ramping these aggressive enough. Now that I'm getting used to the long range of motion, and actually occasionally I tap the ground on a rep every now and then, I do need to bring these up. But the lower back carryover is good. My lower back is feeling a lot stronger. And I know right now my low back is a lot of limits on some of my big lifts. My low back isn't as strong as I thought it was based on certain metrics. And so I'm working on that. So you guys will notice everything is long range of motion for the posterior chain. I'm really working on making sure my erectors get hit hard. And that means the RDLs, we go real deep. That means the good mornings we're taking them off of slings and going stupidly deep. And then having to hit them from a dead stop so that we work the erectors very, very hard. I almost want to buy a hyperextension also. I could technically fit it in. They're not even that expensive, but I'm like, I have a reverse hyper that's just silly at this point. Because I'm hitting probably maximum recoverable volume for the lower back anyways. I don't need another tool. Again, we have the RDLs, we have the way I'm doing the good mornings, and we have all this other stuff. Okay, the split squats were hard today. Use the same weight. I struggled with these. I had balance issues. My quads were burning. Everything except the last set didn't feel as bad. The first couple sets were just brutal. I lost balance on some of them. It's kind of like, what happened? And I think I've got to get used to sled dragging before a speed day. Plus, again, different angles being hit in the legs today. The sumos use more lower body, right? They use more quad. They use more adductor. The wider stance, box squats, a lot, more adductor. So certain muscles involved in this movement were a little more fatigued. And then you throw in the sled drags before that. And I didn't do a lot of sled dragging. It was not much. But it was there. So I've got to adapt to that. and I'll adapt to it. But these were pretty much at my limit. These were just hard. I felt awkward. They were difficult. And because a lot of this workout today was easy. Those RDLs were too easy. All right. But this was difficult. And again, there's some adaptations that I need to make. Again, I've got to get used to the changes in the speed work there. I'm going to have to get used to doing these even if I've dragged a sled. Again, it shows my work capacity needs improving, right? Got to keep that GPP going. So for people, a lot of people have asked, hey, what is your cardio routine? I do a lot of shopping with a backpack down the street for lists. I'm doing less of my bike riding, right? I'm doing less of my bike riding. I'm doing sled drags. My target is to sled drag 5 mornings a week. I had been doing kettlebell swings, but I quit, and I've started working a little bit with some lighter farmer's carries, and I'm not doing a lot of them. I'm doing them just inside the condo, because I have those mini handles. I'm not going super hard on them. I'll admit I'm really just playing around with them, but they are there. So that's what I'm doing. But the sled dragging is going to be probably the biggest part of my conditioning, right? And just going and shopping with a backpack on and bringing my food home is really just lists and active recovery, just staying active. It's not true cardio. The sled drags are true cardio, and that's the bulk of what I'm doing for conditioning right now. And I've got to get into better shape. And again, because some of that stuff, things like sled dragging, has some hypertrophic benefits. And again, if I want my quads bigger, it carries over. It counts. It counts as some of my quad volume. And again, it is going to put it in a situation to where I might not be able to do quite as much serious quad volume like I've been doing, but we're still in a good place. And if we count all that speed work as half sets, and then we get those 3 sets of split squats in, that's a lot of quad work. Now, on the other days, I might be able to handle the step-ups again on top of it. On the max effort days, I don't know. We'll see. But I felt like today the split squats were so hard, I just didn't want to try it today. Like, I feel like my quads were at their limit on those. And you know what? We got some really good effective volume in. And again, that's just a weight that I started using last workout. It's a new weight. And again, came in with a bit of fatigue. So I'm going to have to adapt to that. That's okay. We will. These I bumped 2.5 pounds. Right? These were really hard last time. And today I did my first set, and I thought, well, they felt quite a bit easier today until I got to the last couple reps. And I noticed that on all 3 sets, the first 6 to 7 reps were fairly easy. After that, they started getting real hard. So I'm going to need to go up very slowly on this. Right? Go up very slowly. But again, this is far more difficult than just a standard one because I'm going to pretty much the limits of my range of motion. Right? This is as far as I can go. I'm actually having to change where I grip the handles so that my arms and hands aren't hitting my thighs. Right? And I'm using a narrow stance. Why? More low back. Wider stance would give me a little more hamstring, a little more adductor. Keeping in mind it all gets worked. But again, I want that low back stimulation. I want that. And, if I need to change it, I'll just take these out to a wider stance. I'll take it out to a wider stance if necessary. But again, I do less weight on this. Number one, though, I'm going to a deeper range of motion than I do when I'm just doing a freestanding good morning. I am taking them deeper. And then we have to come up from a dead stop on the slings. On most of the reps. Occasionally I'm tapping early on. But as I get into it, I'm trying to come to a stop. That's probably why it gets so much harder in the later reps, because see, at that certain point there, you guys saw me go ahead and I'm pausing fully now. So that makes those later reps a lot harder when I'm taking the pause serious. But this is challenging. This is hard. Again, 203 pounds. 203. Not a lot of weight for me on a good morning. On this it is, though. It's very challenging. And I get a lot of back activation. All right, and then when we get over to the glute ham raise, is the same thing. I'm trying to get all the way down, doing a full range of motion so that I get a hyperextension first. And then we come up and contract the hamstring. It's a lot harder. These were, the first couple sets weren't bad. The third set, I had to grind through the last couple reps. And this is still on one easier setting than I used to do. So again, that extra range of motion matters. Again, it forces us to pull the hamstrings from a little bit more stretch before we come up. So that makes it harder. And then the fact that I'm getting a body weight hyperextension in, trying to make sure I'm just using more of my low back in general on all these exercises, all the posterior chain stuff, because my hamstrings are plenty strong. I don't know that my low back is up to par. I don't feel like my hamstrings are a limit on anything. My low back, I think it's limiting my conventional. I see some signs on the squat that it might be becoming a bit of a limit. So again, going to work really hard at fixing that. And never in the history of lifting has it ever been a bad idea to work more on your lower back. Again, this is an injury-prone area. It's an area many people have issues with, area that many people do not have strong enough or they don't have the work capacity in. Putting some extra work into that is never bad, irrespective of if you believe it's a weakness or not. But I think in my case, I have seen some signs of it being a weak link. I've seen some signs of it. So we need to go ahead and just nip that in the bud, which is what we're doing. And again, we're doing the same thing with the reverse hypers. Now we're doing them super strict. Now we're doing them strict. And I need to keep building up. I'm going to keep building it. I went up today to 210. Right? We increased the weight 10 pounds because I was able to complete the previous ones. And it's funny because the first time I started doing these strict, 180 pounds was just brutal. And I try to squeeze at the top and then control the eccentric. So we're removing that inertia, that swing. And the lower back contraction is so much stronger. And because these were so hard with such a light weight, it let me know, because again, we can calculate this relative to our squats. This was indicative to me that my low back needs more work. I need to be able to do 50% of my squat for 10s with control. Like this. I don't know that I'm there. I mean, we know I'm not there because we know that I can squat more than 420. But I got a great back pump, felt a lot of contraction in my low back. It got worked very, very hard, especially after doing all that other work. So overall, happy with the workout. Some exercises were harder than others. Some stuff I need to push a little more aggressively. But all in all, it was good. I feel like we're moving in a good direction, even though I'm cutting. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.